Are we back in Dawnshore? Already?
That must have taken an incredible power. Beyond all mortal understanding. How do you feel?
We are new. Better.
Very funny. At least your sense of humor is intact. Whatever happened back there? It appears our work isn't finished yet.
Are you seeing this? I don't think parodies looked like this when we left it.
Looks like the war already started, and the giant roots are winning.
Marius, vines don't usually get that big this quickly, do they?
Based on their growth and size, I'd say we've been gone 2 or 3 weeks.
For once, I wish I wasn't. Who knows if the garden affected time, or merely our perception of time? Assuming there's even a difference.
It's like how a body fights an infection. The fever gives you strange dreams that feel like an eternity.
Look at this place. It feels like we're still in the dream. And not just us.
A dream without end. Now that we are together.
Hey, you're looking a little green around the gills. You all right? You seem different.
We are home. Of this, we are certain.
Have you ever known them to act normally? Anyway, better gird your loins, envoy, because it looks like trouble's brewing. Those are more your people's ships in the harbor, and steel garrote banners past the barricades. That can't be good.
Even Reingrim is here. Perhaps we'll get to see an Archmage in action.
I think I see Elia as well. What a strange reunion this will be.
The Blessed Wardens are here too. That conflict we've been trying so hard to prevent started without us.
Always better than the reverse.
The Steel Garrote have been itching for a fight this whole time. This would have happened with or without us.
Before we go, what happened back there with the Dream Scourge and Sapado? You did what? What in Andros Depths does that mean?
I'm not sure. That's good, right?
It's a relief that the Dream Scourge won't be a problem. I only hope we can say the same about Sapado. Time will tell, I suppose.
After all this time, they're free. And the living land is free to heal.
We've cured the land, and we've even freed a caged god. All in all, rather a successful day.
A lot of things have gone right. It's what's gone wrong we should be worried about.
We march on still. We run, but we are not yet truly free.
We should take a look. See if we can get ahead of whatever storm is brewing down there.
People seem to be gathering west of here. Whatever's happening, let's be a part of it.
Yes, let us be part of it. Let us be part of it all.
I hope you know what you're doing.
Sansa, how did you make it out here?
They marched in with no one. I couldn't think. I just ran.
Easy. You're here now. Where did they come from?
Envoy! What does the Garrote think they're doing? Putting them down? Matico. I want nothing to do with this. They broke some glass, but the map is safe. They didn't think I was worth the trouble.
Right now, that's a good thing.
If you're looking for survivors, a few of us fled to the Ballarok.
How many?
I'm not sure. I saw Sapiento. Gods, I hope they're not trapped in there. I am sorry I can't be more help. On the very first page.
We should move. Let's hope the Garrote hasn't made it to the Balrog yet.
Envoy, wait! Before you go, I may have something for you. I took some supplies when I ran. If you think they'll help, they're yours. I'll even give you a discount. You know, for saving the city and everything.
Why is there snow here?
A familiar face.
I heard she made it snow.
We meet again, Envoy. Paradise burns, thanks to Ludwine and the Steel Garrote laying siege to it. But the Dream Scourge is gone.
It wouldn't be the first time she's come back.
It's remarkable how hard you mortals fight for causes that'll be forgotten within centuries. Still, I do think the world has been irrevocably, if minimally, changed by your actions. A tsunami inevitably rejoins the ocean as simple water. The analogy only really works if you're mortal. And I'm not. Empires die, legends are forgotten. Sorry, but you mortals truly are inconsequential in the long run. Envoy, please. You know there's no point lying to me. I am interested in seeing the outcome of your story, Envoy. With luck, it won't end with you also on fire. Unfortunately, you'll likely be dead the next time I return to the Living Lands. Goodbye, Envoy. And Yardsley, I do look forward to when all of this is done. I am eager to work with you.
Oh, yes. We'll, discuss that later.
If we make it out of this, I'm going on vacation.
Envoy, is that you? Envoy, how did you... I don't know.
It's great to see you again, but where the fuck did you come from?
You just appeared out of nowhere.
Close enough.
Once word about Paradis reached us, we were allowed to go.
That's not important right now, Radut.
Right. Forgive me, Envoy. I won't keep you long. I just want to make one request while you're here. As much as you can, be good to the Living Lands.
I'm holding you to your word, Envoy. Don't fuck us over.
So, here we are. The first and last battle for the Living Lands. I know you speak from experience, but I still hope you're wrong. Metaphysically, the battle is already over. Sapadal is free, and the Dream Scourge is gone. But politically, we have a small mess to tidy up. I'd rather be an outlaw than live under Adiran rule. Anyway, who knows what tomorrow will bring? So let's be grateful for today. You've earned a little peace of mind. Get some rest then. Let me take the first watch. Besides, I need to tinker on the phantasmal focus. Make sure it's ready for war. Don't stay up too late. Very well. Go on then. I'm listening. Pleasant dreams.
There you are, Envoy. You ready for this? Right. Just one more fight. Then another. Then another. Across the whole settlement. I guess whatever happens, at least we stop the Dream Scourge, right? This is just cleanup. Just figuring out who controls the living lands from here out. Someone once told me that war is just applied politics. Never really understood what that meant. Anyway, you should get some rest. Oh, if you need to rehearse any speeches or whatever, make sure you do it in front of someone else. It's not that I don't want to. It's that I'd just rather not. Talk to you later, Envoy.
We should take a moment to acknowledge what happened back there. Sapadal's imprisonment shaped this island. Now that everything's changed, I'm curious what will happen. We cannot know if the living lands will normalize or destabilize as a result of our actions. For better or worse, change is inevitable. Let's hope it all works out in the end, because the other gods aren't coming to answer our prayers. I hope you don't mind me bringing it up. The subject matter is a bit much for our little camp. You're too kind. I want you to know this has been an unforgettable experience. Wherever we go from here, I'm grateful to have been a part of it. Until next time. Thanks for talking.
Well, you must have some good stories, right?
Uh-huh. And, what kind of story? What are you looking for, Yardsley?
Oh, come on.
Your people have done. You have the
Keep moving, Envoy.
Terms of
The
surrender.
sooner we get where we...
Envoy? Is it really you?
Mihala told us you went into some place called the Garden to seek a god?
When you didn't return, we took you for dead.
Did you meet your god there? The one whose marks you bear?
It's too preposterous to believe. How could a plague be ended by speaking with a god?
Everyone, please, please. We could get to the bottom of this if you would only let them speak.
It's been weeks, Envoy. What happened?
Yes, we have become more.
Sapadal was responsible for the Dream Scourge. Their rage, their confusion, their fear.
So you say. But Shatterscarp is still littered with dream thralls, and Temerity is still pacing her room, muttering in the dark.
There won't be any new infections. We've put a stop to that for good. Unfortunately, there's little we can do for those already in the grip of the Dream Scourge. We can give them comfort, nothing more. This will be a process, The Dream Scourge was never going to simply go away overnight.
I suppose it stands to reason. I found that a quick fix is often anything but.
What of this god, then?
Ludwig had intimated that this land grew a new god. But how can that be?
The gods are the gods. They are the foundation upon which our world is built. You can no more build a new god than you can create a new world. The very notion is preposterous.
Preposterous or not, it's happened. The godless yearned to build something new. And over hundreds of years, they did. A god. I suspect this god of theirs, Sapadal, was created from Echidan souls. Wodka no doubt saw Sapadal as a threat to her authority. So, she killed the godless and imprisoned their god.
I assume it is this god we have to thank for the roots tearing apart Paradise? They erupted from the earth the moment those bastards stood up their first siege tower.
We were no stranger to them in Fiorme Siverno. They harrowed our fields, tore our homes in half.
Similar roots had infected the structures at Naku Kubel. If they and the Dream Scourge were really the work of a god, and the gods thought it best to imprison this god, how could you let such a creature go free?
Altruism is fertile ground for folly, I've found.
First he still Garot, now a rogue god. Is there no place safe from turmoil in all the living lands?
Having Sapadal at our beck and call might be to our advantage. I'd like to see Rawatai try to stand toe-to-toe against a god.
Keeping watch over Sapadal was a sacred task Nandru gave us when he left. For that reason alone, my wardens owe them their allegiance.
Well, whatever happens, I suppose we can't put the godling back in the bottle now.
But come, we have more pressing matters to attend to. The Steel Garrote have attacked Paradise. Inquisitor Ludwig has already joined the battle. She must have traveled like the wind to get here so fast. Well, you might not believe me, but I didn't want any of this to happen. It was Ludwig who called for the attack.
I didn't hear an answer, Ambassador.
She and her Steel Garrote laid siege to the city shortly after you beat her to the garden.
You did. I kicked her corpse when you weren't looking, just to be sure.
Well, she's seen better days, but you wouldn't know it judging by how she fights.
Ludwig's run through the militia like a whirlwind.
All right, let's keep the similes to ourselves.
A bit like you're being haunted, isn't it? Or cursed. But that's your affair. So long as her passion for Wodka lives, so too will her spirit.
Then we destroy her faith, and the rest of her will follow. I have a theory about this. Let's talk at camp if you want to hear it. But I think we can kill her.
Oh, good. That will be easy.
It is not, I think, impossible.
I couldn't agree more.
Ludwig has sent a message to the Emperor informing him of her attack. He will send advisors and reinforcements swiftly in response. What will his representatives find when they arrive? A new colony? A budding grave room? Before you face Ludwig, you should know what you're fighting for. All of you must decide, together. But whatever you decide, understand, the days of the frontier are done. Adir will come. Indeed, we are already here.
great question.
You have seen more of this land and met more of its people than any of us. Your opinion is informed. You were empowered by the Emperor himself to investigate an impossible problem. And against the odds, you solved it. You are the close personal friend of a rogue god. And in our dealings together, I found you to be a person of substance and conviction. But mostly, it's because you're a Diran, so I trust you. And these fine people here are going to do whatever they like if they don't agree with you anyway. The Living Lands would become an extension of the Adiran Empire in leadership and law. Soldiers bearing the flag of Adir would be garrisoned in every town. They would be paid in Adiran shelling and speak only the Adiran language. Their roads would be smooth Adiran roads. Their medicine would be hygienic Adiran medicine. And their weapons would be efficient Adiran weapons. Our customs would become their customs. Our strengths would become their strengths. Our emperor would become their emperor. Turned toward a common purpose. No one, not Rawatai, not the Valian republics, not even a rogue god, would dare tack the Living Lands. This island would be safe for the first time in its history, and safe it would remain.
The adder's promise. Clip our feathers as we find our wings. The deed binds as the wire binds. To drown us. Why were we set free?
He would suppress our culture before it's had a chance to grow. Everything my people cultivated would be reduced to a footnote. If you have any love for this land, do not allow him to overwrite our history.
Rawatai built its empire from colonies like this. Many have become centers of culture and prosperity, backed by the protection of a strong navy. Of course, it can take decades to get there. And this road isn't an easy one. But Adir won't be the only empire eyeing this place. A formal agreement now could protect us from something worse later.
It shall be peaceful in that all dissenters will be silenced. So there's that.
The Living Lands is a lot of things, but it will never be Adir, no matter how hard Adir wants it to be. Adir should turn back now and save everyone a bunch of blessed trouble.
The traditions of Solus are what give my wardens their strength. Without them, we would buckle under the weight of the tusks. I would sooner walk my people into the acid sea than trust an Adiran to hold me up.
The only threat I see on the horizon comes from Adir itself. You want me to thank this thief for protecting me from my purse? They can't offer us anything we don't already have.
Under my leadership, the city my father founded was destroyed, and my people were left without a home. If I am not strong enough to lead, well, my people are already under Adir's protection.
Of course. The Living Lands would retain its own laws under a grave appointed by the Emperor. The grave would be expected to promote and develop the Living Lands to our mutual benefit. They would divide the island into administrative districts and see them governed by mayors appointed from the local communities. The island would provide tribute in the form of resources and taxes, and in times of war, soldiers. The Empire, I should note, is nearly always at war. In return, the Living Lands would enter Adir's sphere of influence, and should outside nations attempt to invade, we would come to the Grave Room's aid. Naturally, that would be the Emperor's decision, but I suspect he would choose you. Only the strong survive the frontier. I used to believe that was Ludwig. But you were born to rule here, quite literally. You're the obvious choice. There is no Adiran who knows this place better than you.
We give up our fighters and the wealth of our lands, and get promises in return. But we have wealth enough to give some away, if it means my wardens may return to their vigil in peace.
A grave room wouldn't be my first choice, but we're going to need a hand with all the dream thralls left in Shatterscarp. So if the Emperor's willing to pitch in, then I guess so am I.
If a grave room will put an end to the fighting and allow my people to remain safely in Paradise, I suppose this is an arrangement I could accept.
Tribute, he says. Taxes. Soldiers. The Empire has tried it all before. Look to the Eastern Reach if you don't believe me. They want to bleed us dry, to fill their coffers and fight their wars, to break us like wild animals. But I will not bend.
It's still a gamble, but I think it's the safest bet. We'd get the benefits of Imperial trade and protection without losing all of what makes this place special. There's no way of knowing what it would mean in another generation or two. But right now, it gives us the security and stability to recover.
We were fine before Adir showed up, and we'll be fine when they're gone. Trust the lands and her people, Envoy.
If we give Adir power over us, we can't be surprised if they decide to flex it later.
Son, pernicious. Cut the rot, yet the disease remains. Safety among spiders. A web gleaming with dew. They weave, they wait.
Of course. Oh, Envoy, no. Do not suggest that lightly. Think of the Emperor. There would be reprisals. Ones which this conclave could not survive, fractured as you are. Not unless you came together and formed a nation of your own. It would be difficult. No, impossible. I'm certain you would fail. Think of your people, all of you. Think of the lives at stake.
Though I'm hardly eager to work with any of you, I like the idea of twisting beneath Adir's boot heel even less. So long as the Wardens can continue our vigil, I'm open to uniting, if you are.
Thirdborn alone couldn't stand against the storm, but the might of all of us, together, we could deter any but the most fearsome adversaries. And that's what cannons are for.
My people rely on the sufferance of those in Paradise for safety. We have no homes of our own anymore. And Paradise will bear the brunt of the Emperor's reprisals, whatever those may be. But if this is what this conclave wants, then Fior will stand beside you.
We deserve our autonomy, even if we must fight for it. Anything less would be surrender.
Fleeing someone else's laws and authority is one thing, setting up your own is another. We're an island of misfits and dissidents. We'll still have to surrender some of our autonomy, and we won't agree on what that means overnight. We'll be vulnerable. Without allies, other powers will see us as ripe for the picking. Know that this is a hard road to walk.
We were fine before Adir came. We'll be fine when they're gone.
I think we ran things perfectly fine before your kin got here.
Risk into bounty. Does the winter frost dissuade the seeds? Many fruits on our boughs. We graft many leaves into strength.
Well, let's not twiddle our thumbs while Paradise burns. A fine compromise.
The people of Fior will accept a grave room.
So long as my wardens are left in peace, we will endure a grave room.
Thirdborn will support a grave room, unless the Empire inspires us to change our minds.
I do not trust your empire to show restraint in its control of the living lands. Gods help us.
We can worry about the future when it comes. This at least gives us the backing to survive and rebuild.
Right. Might as well go ahead and start designing those rebel flags sooner rather than later.
Good. We'll have perhaps a whole week of peace before the yoke starts chafing.
I will do my level best to convince the Emperor to accept a grave room. That leaves the matter of Ludwine and the Steel Garrote. She will never surrender, Envoy. You must kill her, or we will lose Paradis, and eventually the island.
Whatever happens to the living lands, at least I can kill Ludwine. I'll take that over nothing.
She better say her goodbyes while she can.
I'm proud to fight at your side, Envoy. One last time.
Let's get to work then. We got a walking corpse to bury.
The Paradis militia will be at your back. Give her no quarter. The future waits for you.
You're more than worth it. Now go. No doubt the Inquisitor grows impatient for the hunt.
Show them that the living lands will not be broken across Vodka's knee.
Gather your forces and secure the eastern gate. From there, take back the main plaza. I have faith in you. When my homeland needed one, we all do what we must. Gods be with you, Envoy.
Let's take back the city. Whatever happens tomorrow, the Steel Garrote can only make it worse.
Time to stop the Steel Garrote. Lead the way, Envoy.
Can't sleep? Neither can I. We're going into battle for the soul of the living lands, rallying under the banners of the Paradis militia. Your Emperor will not be pleased. Political influence is dangerous. If you aren't careful, it can turn against you. When a godlike fights in battle, people take note of which side. The Adirans will doubt your loyalty. The locals will doubt your commitment. You may even doubt yourself. This is the first time you were told to pick a side. And I fear it won't be the last. This conflict has really pulled you apart. Worse, it's put your soul at risk. From what I understand, your ambassador is very persuasive, very powerful, and very accustomed to getting his way. For a politician like him, losing a battle is not a defeat. It's an opportunity. When he promises you the world, don't listen. He'll fill your head with lies if you let him. I'm glad we understand each other. It's good to see you fighting for the misfits and rabble-rousers. Time for you to get some rest. We have a big day ahead of us. In truth, I'm not as worried as I used to be. I've been thinking about the Inquisitor. Formulating a theory, you might say. A Death Guard clings to their existence by force of will. Stubbornness, unfinished business, that sort of thing. Ludwine is held together by faith, and that may be her undoing. I could be wrong, but I don't think malice alone is enough to sustain a life that should have ended. It takes something more enriching, I suppose. A personal crusade. Faith is the foundation of her reality. Faith in the righteousness of the gods. But according to her faith, Sapadal should not exist. A new god independent of hers? Blasphemy. By that logic, you shouldn't exist either. And yet here you are. By staying alive, of course. You are the godlike of a heretical god. A contradiction to her reality. Can you imagine how much she needs you to die? Her entire worldview depends on it. Who knows? Maybe that uncertainty is enough to make her mortal again. Or maybe not. I'm just theorizing as I go. Whatever happens, I want to see it for myself. For the research. When I agreed to travel with you, I didn't think I'd find myself at the center of a political upheaval. And now the Living Lands is dependent on the Empire's generosity. Generosity which can be given and taken away. We're free to make our own laws until our Adiran masters revoke them. We're free to thrive until our taxes finance your next war, with our people padding the front lines. We're free until we're not. At the end of the day, I don't trust the Empire to show restraint with the Living Lands. They've done nothing to earn it. What's done is done. No point in faking a smile. Is it really that obvious? No matter who wins or loses, the Living Lands won't be the same. In my heart, I know that's a good thing. Life is impossible without change. And change can be frightening. I just want to put this behind us. I want it to be over. Thanks for talking.
You should get some sleep. Big day coming up. Makes sense. It's a lot to think about. I've been in a lot of dangerous situations, but it's always been a fight to survive. It's just a fight. Putting my life on the line for someone else's cause. It's the opposite of survival. It's foolishness. You know, I've never seen a bear go to war. They fight for survival, not for causes. We're about to go out there and risk our lives for, what? A concept of how things ought to be? We might die, all to determine who sleeps in the nicest house in Paradise until the island decides it's time for a change. It's fine, really. But it's some blessed day Sokka when you think about it. Right. Careful you don't get stuck in all that sap. I'll be all right, Envoy. You go get some blessed day rest.
That's what taxes are for, I suppose. We should see about raising those.
We've got company!
I was worried for a second. Let's go.
Someone's eager to see us. On your left, dear.
That's all of them.
We've got company!
Found you.
Out of here.
Another soul for the wheel.
You're going to regret this.
Don't worry about the eastern gate. I'll protect your back. Better part of Avowed.
Welcome to the place of battle, Envoy. It pleases me to greet you in full health. I thank you again for the medicine. My kind do, but let's put that to the side. I traveled here for you, Envoy. When I learned of the events in Paradise from the dwarves as they marched out of the tusks, I knew where I'd find you. I hear that you have chosen to defend the living lands. I will honor my life debt to you by keeping the peace here, after the battle. I do not. I will live in isolation one way or another. As I say, the choice is yours. Let us waste no more breath. Breath is too precious, as both you and I know. I will leave you to the war now. You have my vow, Envoy, and my thanks once more.
Keep moving.
What are you doing? Lead the way.
I thought you left town weeks ago. About time. You're the only one Ludwig will listen to. I saw a few on my way here.
I imagine they've been waiting for this to happen for a long time. Listen, one of the Garot's units is scouting up ahead, maybe 5 strong. I wouldn't want to fight them if I were you. Take this key. It'll unlock the gate to the canals. You can thank the captain who forgot it. You shouldn't find much opposition down there. I wish someone had stood up to the Steel Garot a long time ago. But, well, you're here now. That's what matters. Good luck.
We should go now, while the fighting's died down.
Can you not hear the screaming outside?
She's right. We can't go now. Then when? Should we wait till the Garot set this bar alight?
Envoy! I doubted I'd ever see you again. I imagine I could guess what brings you back to Paradis. I must thank you once again for bringing me the Luminous Adra so long ago. Oh, it was wonderful! It was a complete failure, of course. But from that failure, I learned much. With some creative exploration, I was able to refine the Adra into a poultice that heals wounds at a fantastic rate. Yes, one almost has the inkling that danger lurks around the corner. I know you have much to do in town, so I'll let you go. Thank you again for everything.
You asked for it!
Just go. I've got the plaza under control.
That'll teach you!
Ludwine's lost it. She's hunting everyone and everything, even you.
Monica demands your submission. Stand against her and fall.
Let's pay Ludwine one final visit, shall we? She could use some payback for Nakukubel, don't you think? Let's make sure she stays dead this time, all right, dearie?
There you are.
So, you survived the garden, but you're not as you were. Oh, Envoy, what did you do?
We have become more. Tell her.
You did what now?
Your envoy has made themselves an abomination. A threat to the very foundations of Aora. Say your goodbyes while you can. Your envoy is nearly gone.
There will never be another you again, Envoy. And I'm sorry to hear that.
Wyatt, this is what we wanted. This is what I wanted. I will never be alone again.
You can't even speak to comfort your friends, can you? You poor fool. You had a life of your own, and you threw it away.
Beloved, from the moment of your birth, your life was always mine. Now, tell her. Leave my land in peace, and I will spare your life.
You know I can't do that, fiend. You are a parasite. One that will destroy Adir, and perhaps all the world if I don't stop you. Farewell, Sapadal.
There's no coming back this time. Prepare yourself for the next world.
You won't be missed, Ludwig.
You can't hope to win, parasite.
I'll put you down.
I am every seed in the soil. I will always grow.
Come on, let's kill him. Last time.
Monica! Queen among queens!
Your river of power runs dry. She doubts you. How does it feel to be alone?
Monica is done with the new thing.
I'll fix this.
Again, Monica! Help me! One last time!
Wherever Ludwig is now, she must be seething.
Of course, we'd be happy to kill her again, if needed.
She's done for, but we're not. Whatever's next, we'll face it. Together.
Gods, you're all gonna make me sick. But carry on.
Dead now. The roots will have her, and we will have you. Nothing will separate us forever.
Silence falls over Paradise, as though the city is holding its breath. Then you hear it, the ringing of a distant bell, the waving of banners, and cheers of victory. After a short and bloody conflict, the dust has finally begun to settle. The Paradise militia rallies to you, the outsider who defended them in their hour of need. Whatever happens next, you have won their confidence. You take a moment to reflect on the calm. Not so long ago, you arrived at these shores on a simple errand, which turned out to be anything but simple. The Dream Scourge is over, and the island has been cleansed of plague. A time of healing and mourning follows. People look to you for answers about the source of the affliction. With your guidance, the Living Lands becomes a vassal of the Adiran Empire. In exchange for their taxes and soldiers, the free settlements are protected from future attacks. The fight for survival is over. You showed the rebels of Paradise mercy, but they can never trust the Empire. Instead, they keep to the wilderness, always 2 steps ahead of Adir, only attacking when provoked. That is as close as they come to peace. The refugees of Emerald Stair find a cold welcome in the city of Paradise. Animancy is frowned upon, but their knowledge of agriculture is highly valued. The first bountiful harvest improves relations. The ashes of Fior Messiverno continue to smolder. Scavengers avoid the ruins, fearful of spirits unleashed by animancy gone awry. The once promising city is nothing but a cautionary tale. After so much chaos, the people of Shatterscarp find a moment to breathe. As a gesture of goodwill to its grave room, Adir sends a regiment to purge the remaining dream thralls still haunting the wilderness. But with the sound of Adiran cannons in the air, many Thirdborners wonder what their lives will look like when there is no longer a common enemy. After the Living Lands is declared a vassal of Adir, Solace Keep reluctantly opens the doors of its fortress, though not before numerous missives are sent to Mihala demanding the grave room be honored. Her reluctance costs the dwarves. The Pargrunen are never favored in trade negotiations, and are the last to be supplied by Adiran caravans. But the Wardens have rounder bellies than anyone can remember. For the first time in many years, Kai feels an agreeable restlessness. Not to flee, not to drift, but to venture. He visits the distant shores Tama told him about, and savors the modern marvels, ancient wonders, and breathtaking expanses he beholds. His heart swells, not with grief, but with awe. There is so much to discover, and he will spend his years chasing all of the joy and beauty the world has to offer him. With many of his anxieties and lifelong fears addressed, Marius now feels very differently than he did when he first met the envoy. Still far more comfortable in the wilds than among people, he nonetheless finds that his worries about the unknown were merely self-protection against the traumas of his childhood. Armed with this knowledge, he finds himself more capable of living in civilization, and far less fearful of his home in Galawain's tusks. While he never regains his former place as a Warden of Solace, he spends his time traveling between Solace and Thirdborn, acting as a stubborn ambassador between the two. Giada learned much in your time together,
how to stand up to authority, how to face the unknown, and how to move on from the past. But her family's unfinished work weighs heavily on her soul. Her inheritance is the burden of achieving the impossible. Such is the life of an animancer. At least now she has the right tools for the job, and new friends to help her through hard times. No longer under the threat of imminent death, Yardsley returns to the Animancers. Reunited with her beloved Quilici, she helps him and the Animancers as they put their lives together after the attack on Fior Messiverno. Eventually, she even has something nice to say to Vidaro. As the days pass in contentment and relative peace, Yardsley is struck by the persistent feeling that something is missing. Though she still devotes herself to her studies of both the arcane and the godless, the restlessness never goes away.
You will fight us for a long time, but you will lose. Our roots burrow through the walls of your muscles and the halls of your heart, tenderling through organs and bones. Every day, they spread further and deeper. Soon, you'll understand how much we love you, how much we need you. You will not remember why you fought, not for long. You will only know the root and the water and the crow and the joy of the wolves as the pack digs their teeth deep into the belly of the fawn. We will be together forever. We will never let you go.
The sounds of celebration pull you out of reverie. Many are waiting to greet you with open arms. You take a moment to catch your breath and savor it, because everything is about to change.